Hello, listeners, and welcome back to A Literary Cornucopia. This is your host, Luisa Morales, with a special episode on microfiction, a very short piece of writing. As I had mentioned in episode number 146, A Literary Cornucopia will carry on with anything and everything literary, expanding the library of stories and authors of all nationalities. With this special episode, I decided to include a piece written by a former colleague, as well as my own in response to hers. I had recently asked her to share some of her writings, and there was one in particular that drew my attention, so I decided to use it. You'll listen to two pieces of microfiction: El Testigo, a piece written originally in Spanish, which I translated as The Witness. The second text is a response to the first one with Freedom as its title. You'll hear both the Spanish and English versions. So this episode is kind of a bilingual one. Afterwards, I'll discuss microfiction and compare it to flash fiction, which is another example of short fiction. But first, let's listen to the narratives, the first of which is read by the author herself.
El testigo. Al techo miraba cada vez que se acercaba a mí. Buscaba el color blanco, la paz y la tranquilidad que necesitaba para tomar la decisión más importante de mi vida. Esa noche, mientras sentía su cuerpo sobre mí, recordaba sus mentiras, sus engaños, sus maltratos. Esto me ayudaba a cobrar fuerzas para seguir adelante con el plan. 9 años, 9 largos años han pasado desde que prometí ante el altar estar en las buenas y en las malas, en la abundancia y en la pobreza, en la salud y en la enfermedad, pero ya no podía más. Había soportado mucho y ya era hora de romper las cadenas que me ataban al dolor y al sufrimiento. Jamás pensé que aquel sí acepto representaba tolerar todo lo que pasó desde esa misma noche. Sin mí no eres nada. Esa era su frase favorita y no soportaba escucharla más. Llegó la hora. No podía esperar un minuto más. Allí, debajo de la almohada, estaba el objeto brillante y filoso que me libraría de tanto dolor. Solo el techo fue el testigo. Aquí estoy, encarcelada, pero libre.
The Witness. I would look up at the ceiling every time he came near me. I searched in the white color for the peace and tranquility I needed to make the most important decision of my life. That night, while I felt his body on top of mine, I remembered his lies, his betrayals, his abuse. This helped me gather strength to move forward with the plan. 9 years, 9 long years have passed since I promised before the altar to be there for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health. But I couldn't take it anymore. I had endured so much, and it was time to break the chains that bound me to pain and suffering. I never thought that I do meant tolerating everything that happened from that very night. Without me, you're nothing. That was his favorite phrase, and I couldn't stand hearing it anymore. The time had come. I couldn't wait another minute. There, under the pillow, was the bright and sharp object that would free me from so much pain. Only the ceiling was the witness. Here I am imprisoned, but free. So that was the first piece in both languages. And here was what I responded after I read the original in Spanish. Freedom. I stare at the walls around me. Whiteness and sterility stare back. I know I deserve to be here. Here I am in prison, but free. I knew what I would be getting into when I used that bright, sharp object to free myself. Here I am in prison, but free. How do you plead? Guilty, I replied stoically. Do you have anything to add? The judge asked. No, Your Honor. My first visitor was my sister. Her worried look betrayed her concern. She blew me a kiss through the bars and whispered, "How are you doing?" I answered calmly, "I'm fine." No regrets? None whatsoever. I'm no longer in the clutches of that monster who would not let me be. The one who made my life a living hell no longer has a hold of me. Here I am imprisoned, but free. I can't believe what your life must have been like for 9 long years. We never knew. We could have done something. No, it was up to me to take matters into my own hands. I was the one responsible. And now, here I am in prison, but finally free. Well, listeners, there you have 2 examples of microfiction. Any thoughts? Microfiction and flash fiction are ultra short stories defined by word count. Microfiction is typically between 100 and 300 words, focusing on a single intense moment, while flash fiction usually covers 300 to 1,000 words, allowing for more character development and plot. The first piece had 191 words in the English version. My text contained 185 words. We both stuck to microfiction in that sense. Both microfiction and flash fiction rely on implication and concise language to deliver maximum impact. Microfiction is often poetic, punchy, and relying on a twist or strong imagery. Let's see how the 2 samples fit the description. In The Witness, we have the color white, representing peace and tranquility. We have the image of a body on top of another. We might even feel the pressure of the body that is on top. I know I could. We imagine the chains representing pain and suffering. And the witness to all of this? The ceiling. The microfiction titled Freedom focuses on liberty. The color white is repeated, but sterility is added. Sterility might represent a lack of emotion, a coldness, something bare. Both narratives allude to a paradox, imprisoned but free, which is repeated in the piece Freedom for a poetic effect. Despite the brevity of each, both pack a punch and tell a story. We know what is happening in each, and we have a pretty good idea of how each ends. Microfiction topics focus on high impact, brief scenarios, often using unexpected twists, intense emotions, or single scene snapshots. Key themes include hidden secrets, strange discoveries, fleeting moments of connection, or surreal, dreamlike occurrences that fit within a 100 to 300 word frame. With all these elements in mind, could you write a microfiction narrative? The Witness, originally written in Spanish as El Testigo, is the product of a creative writing exercise. The author was inspired by the topic of abuse, in particular, that found in toxic relationships involving women. Teresita Vasquez is a former colleague who has been a teacher of Spanish as a first language for over 25 years. We have collaborated on different projects both within and outside the classroom. Writing is a passion that we have in common. Oh, one more thing I want to mention. This episode might or might not align with February, which is traditionally considered the month of love and friendship. But for some of you, it could be related. Anyway, thanks for listening. And that's a wrap for this special episode on microfiction, episode number 148 of the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. As usual, any recommendations or comments may be addressed through the podcast app or via email at a literary cornucopia podcast at gmail.com. Next time on A Literary Cornucopia, we'll take a look at love potions in literature, since we're still in the month of love and friendship. Until then, remember to keep the light of imagination burning. This is your host, Lisa Morales, wishing you, as always, happy reading, listening, and writing.